right, guys. For the record, I do not like trashing anybody, and I don't like going after people like I do with Kari Lake. And I know some of you are triggered, and you can't spell her name when you're getting upset with me. You know, I did a post like this just to make people aware. You got to be aware of the details, and I'm working on that too. And there's something shocking I found out about redistricting. It was a big concern of mine when I was finding out about the onslaught, the attack, the invasion of these illegals coming across the country at our southern border. And you guys have heard me say many things about that. But I found out redistricting is actually not going to affect this election. And I'll give you the details after we show you this clip of Kari Lake pandering to an audience inspired by, unfortunately, NewsMax. And everybody's got, I love NewsMax. I always thought NewsMax was cool, but I'm starting to realize that everybody's got an agenda. And I think you're going to learn that I don't by doing what I'm doing, because these aren't popular with my audience. Most of my audience are Trump supporters, as well and when I find out stuff that goes against that, I have to report it, guys. So forgive me. Here's more on Kari Lake and how she's pandering to NewsMax as they give it to her. So let's listen to this video clip. It's going to sound good in the beginning. And then when we get to the part where the pander starts, well, it could be pandering before, but everything I'm seeing in the beginning of the video, I like. But when you get to the NewsMax question, then listen to the pandering. Here we go.
No, it's crazy. I mean, we have to go to court and just solidify the law. We want to make sure that American citizens are able to vote and they're able to cast their ballots, and we don't want to infringe on that. But we need to make sure that there are citizens that are voting and not people who are coming over illegally. And let's face it, this invasion at the border is about Democrats lining up a whole bunch of new voters, and they want nothing more than to see everyone pouring across our border to be able to vote. Their policies are so bad, Eric, that the American people don't want their policies anymore. So they're trying to recruit a whole bunch of new voters and have people pour across and let them vote illegally.
Interesting concept. And I had this conversation with Peter Schweitzer this morning. We were just chatting, and he made a great point. He said, what the census, when they take the census every few years, whatever it is, every 10 years or so, when they take the census, there are congressional seats that are dependent upon how many people are in your state. They don't require proof of citizenship for the census. So if there's millions upon millions of illegals in the state of California, and he pointed this out, he thinks there are at least 4 congressional seats attributed to illegals in the state of California. That makes all the sense in the world now. Let them come in the millions. They'll go to Democrat states and they'll get more congressional representation.
All right, here it is. The question from NewsMax that sets Kari into a total agreement selling to President Trump's audience, and I thought this was true, but the census is not going to be held until 2030. Took a little bit of an investigation. We've got 2 years after President Trump's second term, if it happens, and the census is not an issue around the illegal immigration. I'm still investigating hard on who can vote without IDs and everything in each state. I'm going to do a report on that coming up. But the census is not going to happen until 2030.
That makes all the sense in the world now. Let them come in the millions. They'll go to Democrat states and they'll get more congressional representation.
And remember when President Trump tried to get that question on the census form asking if you're here legally, and they fought tooth and nail? That's exactly why. And look at where they're sending these people by the busloads. And people are getting on planes here in Phoenix, Arizona, pouring across our border, getting a free airline ticket, and they're showing up in places like New York. They're going to places like Illinois, a lot of these blue states. And guess what? Americans are fleeing the blue states because the taxes are too high and the policies are woke. As people start to flee New York, they're losing population. They want to fill it back up with people here illegally so they don't lose their power in the Congress in these blue states.
So do you see the pandering? Do you see it? She knows it. She better know it. She's in politics running to be a senator. Sheriff Mark Lamb is the best option. He just is. He's a straight shooter, and I've said that before. Watch the interview. I'll link it at the end of this video.
And whether you live in Arizona or not, if you think that my being in the Senate doesn't affect you, I will tell you that the senators do not vote on bills that are specific to their states. The senators vote on bills that have an effect on all 50 states. So you should care, no matter what state you live in, who the senator from Arizona is, because if you have a good senator there, it's going to benefit you no matter what state you live in.
Exactly.
So
I can't. Can you see why I love this guy? Can you see why I love this guy? I mean, we had not met until this day,
till this morning.
till this morning. I wasn't.
And we weren't even sure if we were going to do this
I
because
know
it was raining.
It rained in Arizona. Imagine that. And I was like, the way I do my interviews is I want a person like Mark to have a platform so they can talk. I'm not doing the gotcha stuff like CNN and everything. And I'm looking for the truth like you are. Get a sense of who the man is. We need a Republican in Senate. The Democrats and the mainstream media are supporting Kari Lake and calling it a two-person race, her against the Democrat. The mainstream media and the Democrats want Kari Lake to run because she's not popular in the state of Arizona. And I'm going to do another video on her mayor when she ran for governor. Sorry, not mayoral. When she ran for governor, I'll show you the response she got. And there's another video with them talking about her being popular with 50% of the Republican senators. That's not a good number. They're trying to play it up. Another video coming. Can you tell I want to have a Republican senator from the state of Arizona in the Senate? And you know who that is? Sheriff Mark Lamb. You got to vote for him. If you're outside the state, you got to call your friends in Arizona or find some friends in Arizona and tell them to vote. I'm going to be voting for him. Thank you for watching. Again, I don't like trashing people, but it has to be done because the panderers have to be exposed. And let's face it, Kari Lake is holding on to President Trump like a barnacle. She is trying to ride on all of his talking points, but what's her plan? What is her plan? Look deep into the details of every politician, Republican or Democrat. If somebody's pandering to you, they're deceiving you. And I'll go deep diving into pandering. I think you know what it is. It's basically saying something to a person because you want to get a result instead of just saying it like it is. Like Sheriff Mark Lamb, just say it like it is. This is the facts. This is what's going on. Wouldn't that be refreshing? I think so. Thank you for watching.